What is going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I am your host behind the mic, Matt the Misfit. This is your SmackDown live review for August the 4th, 2023. It's the final stop before the weirdest party of the summer, and I say that very, very strangely because the build for SummerSlam has not been the greatest. The show was not very good. There was a few things I liked on the show, but we'll talk about that and much, much more. If you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down below on the youtube.com/@Misfit Wrestling Podcast. You can follow the social medias, Misfit Podcast TV on Twitter or on X. It's whatever the hell you want to call it. Threads and Instagram. It's Misfit Wrestling Pod on the audio outlets, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcast, Stitcher Radio, Audible, and Pandora. A lot of strange things happened today. Stuff with the AEW women's locker room, which I'm not going to get into tonight. I'm going to try to talk about that, save that stuff for Sunday's show, the Pile Driver Pulse, because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about on that show, including the Trish Stratus, Becky Lynch stuff, which is the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life. All that stuff is going to be saved for the Sunday's podcast. Tonight is about SmackDown. SmackDown, again, I thought wasn't the best go-home show at all. It was like there were some things on the show that was all right, like, you know, the video packages, good stuff from the video packages between the Cody Brock stuff, the Solo Jey and Roman stuff, and the three promo packages that we had with the three women involved in the triple threat match tomorrow night. We did find out that, unfortunately, Kid Rock is going to be there because whatever reason. But the show opened with the LA Knight, who I somewhat have an issue with. Not him. You know, I'll talk about that on the review tomorrow. I'm not going to go into that tonight. I may talk about the Becky Lynch stuff tomorrow on the not the SmackDown review, the SummerSlam review. This match really was nothing here with Sheamus taking on LA Knight. This match was set up last week, I think. Just to promote that stupid battle royal that doesn't need to be on the show. Everybody was brawling on the outside, but LA Knight hits his finisher to get the win on to Sheamus. It was nothing special here. And then we got one of our first video packages of the night, Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, you know, going on with that stuff here. Cody Rhodes basically saying, Brock, you beat my ass for weeks now. I challenge you to a fight at SummerSlam in a standard wrestling match, because for whatever reason, I still don't understand this. Apparently the idea being floated around, or the rumor is that they didn't ask for a stipulation match, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard here. You're doing a blood feud, basically, even though we have no idea what they're fighting for. And they're not going to have a stipulation? What? That doesn't make a lot of sense there. Anywho, following the LA Knight Sheamus match, we had a backstage segment with the Brawling Brutes and the OC going off about whatever it was they're going on about, and then Adam Pearce, not the general manager, Adam Pearce, came in, says, if you four want to beat the shit out of each other, go do it in the ring next, or right now, or whatever it was, and that's exactly what happened here. Nice to see Pete Dunne on my anytime I get to see Pete Dunne on my television, it's a good day for me. We had the Brawling Brutes out there with the OC and Michin. I don't think AJ Styles was out there. AJ Styles, unfortunately, is in the Battle Royal, which says a lot about the booking this year. So Ridge Holland fires off some uppercuts there. He then goes back and forth with Luke Gallows. They both deliver shoulder tackles, but Gallows eventually gains up the upper hand, delivers a follow-away slam. He then delivers a splash into the corner, tags in Carl Anderson, who does not have his hot Asian wife, but Mean Jim will do. I'm joking. Don't take that out of context here. Because, he talked about his hot Asian wife quite a bit. So, where was I on this? Rich Holland catches Carl Anderson with a double underhook suplex, tags in Pete Dunne. Dunne lands a a drop kick onto Anderson's face, then snaps his fingers and stomps on them. Gallows tags back in, and the OC deliver a magic killer for the win. For the win, but Gallows pins Butch. So basically Gallows pins Pete Dunne, but Rich Holland comes in to break the fall. They come back from break. Rich Holland and gets up Carl Anderson on his shoulders. Anderson breaks the eyes of Rich Holland to escape. Delivers a series of super kicks to the face. Holland gets fired up, delivers a clothesline, then tags in Pete Dunne. Dunne goes for delivers a few enziguris. Since the top, not the top rope, the middle rope, delivers a knee strike to the arm of Carl Anderson. I almost said Luke Anderson. I don't know why. He followed that up with a running knee, does Pete Dunne going for the pin. Gallows breaks the fall. Rich Holland levels Gallows with a back body drop before Carl Anderson sends him crashing outside the ring. Out of nowhere, the Street Profits come in and start attacking the OC and the Brawling Brutes, calling a double disqualification, so nobody wins this match here. After the match, Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, who look very dapper in their new suits, by the way, send Gallows crashing into the ring post. They then plant Anderson, Holland, and Pete Dunne with several moves. Bobby Lashley then appears on the ramp next to the Street Profits and hugs them. And that's how that segment ended. I'm all for whatever they're planning here with the Street Profits because they were in need of a refresh completely. Their gimmick, as much as I loved their previous gimmick from NXT, that has so much of a lifespan here. And much as like game with the New Day, I love the New Day. Don't get me wrong, I love Big E. And we have an update on Big E that I'll talk about on Sunday's show. But Big E, Woods, and Kofi, the New Day is over. The New Day is great and all, but that act eventually will run out and wore out of people here. This is what's happening with the Street Profits. I'm very happy that they're going to go in a different direction with the Street Profits. Putting them with Bobby Lashley is a great idea. I would love to see where this is going here. Maybe it's a new version of the Hurt Business. Who knows? But we're not that far off on Bianca Belair turning into that whole thing there as well. And speaking of Bianca Belair, one of her opponents for tomorrow, Charlotte Flair, had a video package aboarding a yacht because, of course, she is drinking something as she takes some time to relax ahead of her triple threat match with Asuka and Bianca Belair. She says that, basically saying things like, well, I am basically saying things we already knew about Charlotte Flair. And of course, if you watched my Raw review on Monday night, you would know that I do have her winning the match tomorrow night. I will go over again my quick predictions for tomorrow's event. Because, you're probably wondering, does your picks change after tonight's show? Well, I will let you know when we get to the end of the show here. Paul Heyman comes out and says, ladies and gentlemen, his name is Paul Heyman and whatnot. They show a beautiful video package between the Tribal Chief and the Tribal Combat match that's happening on tomorrow night's main event here. Jey Uso comes out, says the Tribal Combat is happening tomorrow night. He says he'll light Reigns up with chairs, tables, throw him through a table. He says he's bringing all his passion and the spirit of his ancestors and his family tomorrow night to beat Roman Reigns and become the new Tribal Chief and Universal Champion. Solo Sikoa's music hits. He comes down to the ring. Jey tells Solo to chill. Heyman says Jey screwed up. Jey says Solo is still his brother at the end of the day, and he'll always forgive him. He says that all Solo does is take orders, and tells him he's been in his shoes. Heyman asks Jey if he really thinks Solo believes what he's saying. Meaning believes what Jey Uso is saying. All the while, Solo looks over at Jey. Heyman asks for a word with Solo, and Solo goes to get out. He sees Jey sees his opening and takes it. Jey sees his opening and then super kicks Solo Sikoa. Michael Cole provides an update. Before I go to that, so I like this segment here. I'm very looking for the main event. I think tomorrow is going to be fantastic. Though it's not going to be a great night for Jey Uso and the people praying for Jey Uso to win tomorrow. So there's that. Michael Cole provides an update with Rey Mysterio following a legit injury that originally we all thought was a worked injury. Come find out it's not. He's sustained a head injury from severe whiplash. He is at home recovering. All speedy recovery to Rey Mysterio. Also, I want to send another speedy recovery out to the Bastard Pack, who unfortunately is going to be missing. Seems like All Out. Or not All Out, All In, and most likely All Out, which sucks because he just came back. He was in part of that Blood and Guts match. He had that incredible ROH title match with who was it? With Claudio. But again, my well wishes go out to both Rey Mysterio and the Bastard Pac. Austin Theory defeated Cameron Grimes in a nothing match. This was basically all for Austin Theory here. Cameron Grimes got like most of this match was most of Cameron Grimes, and then A-Town down for the win here. After the match, Santos Escobar, who's challenging Theory next week for the United States Championship, hit Austin Theory with a super driver, a phantom driver, and that's how that segment. I hope to God Santos Escobar wins the United States Championship next week, because they're not doing a fucking thing with Austin Theory as the champion. Austin Theory has done jack shit since beating John Cena, meaning his win over John Cena meant absolutely fucking nothing. Meaning you also wasted an appearance for John Cena. You wasted John Cena's time. You could have had John Cena wrestle somebody else on on WrestleMania. No, you had to give it to Austin Theory, who did nothing with this win. Hopefully that changes next week with Santos Escobar winning the United States Championship. This I actually right here I enjoyed. This was another video package, the second one of the three video packages involving the three women involved in the triple threat match for the Women's Championship. Asuka being a badass, which I love to see. I want to see more of this Asuka, not the whatever they were doing with her. This was Asuka beating the shit out of her what the hell is that damn thing? Oh my God, what is that damn thing? Punching bag. I can't remember the name of it. Saying it's not fair. We got that it's a triple threat match, but I'm not worried. She basically says, I got a plan. Whatever that plan is tomorrow remains to be seen here. I know a lot of people saying Kyrie. I don't think Kyrie's coming back to the WWE, at least not right now. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to be a great night for Asuka tomorrow night, regardless of if she wins or loses. Which I think I'm going to tell you why it's hilarious in just a little bit when we get to the end of the show here. But yeah, I thought this was the best. See, they should be doing this more with Asuka, making her feel like a legit threat. Unfortunately, they haven't done that. I was super excited that Asuka won the championship back at Night of Champions, but then nothing happened. Well, not nothing happened. Like, she is the third wheel in this entire program here. Like, they just had to insert Charlotte back into the situation, right? Now Asuka is the third wheel in this entire thing. That three-way, that triple threat match, that whole story is focused on Bianca and Charlotte. But again, I'll talk about that in just a little bit when we get to the end of the show here. Then we got the Grayson Waller effect here with IYO SKY, Miss Money in the Bank, and Bayley, who is currently still recovering from a minor injury. Bayley, IYO come out. Waller asks Io if she's intends on cashing her Money in the Bank tomorrow night. Sky looks to speak, but Bayley cuts off, and Io looks very annoyed again. Says they won't be telling anyone what they're planning on doing or their strategy. Bayley says Io is focused on her upcoming match with Zelina Vega. And while this is going on, by the way, she starts cutting down the fans. And I look at Io's face and I'm like, they're cutting down. She needs to stop making fun of my fans, is basically what I've understood from that here. Because Io has just had enough of Bayley's bullshit at this point here. She is then caught off by the sound of Shotzi's creepy laughter and saying Bayley's name. Bayley looks to leave. Waller calls her scared because apparently he pulled that air. Bayley says Shotzi is scared of her and is not the other way around. But before she continue, Shotzi's music cuts and hear Bayley thinking, well, I'm not falling for this again. Come to find out, it's actually Zelina Vega on the tank because Io, she tells Io to fight for her battles there, basically. And while this is going on, Shotzi is trying to basically, I want to say she's trying to murder her with a shaver. Yeah, it was very awkward here. But this next match was really nothing. It was IYO SKY, Zelina Vega. IYO SKY gets not the win because of dumb babyface syndrome, being distracted, and Zelina Vega hit the code red for the win here. And now, obviously, this is kind of the trope here with Money in the Bank. It's been a trope for many, many years. Even it goes back to when Seth Rollins had it in 2015. They did nothing but Seth Rollins sure won a few. Seth Rollins beat Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam and Hell in a Cell that year. But the rest of the year he was losing on Raw and a few other pay-per-views afterwards. The point I'm trying to make here is Money in the Bank. The whole thing with that is they always book their Money in the Bank holders to lose a bunch of matches, and for when they cash in, they end up winning the match. Now, if you're unsuccessfully cashing in, you end up winning a bunch of matches, like Baron Corbin did, and when I think Damien Sandow did. I can't throw that in there to John Cena because he decided to wait a week later to cash in. RVD, I think, when he did the RVD, I think was an exception for that. They're even doing it with Damian Priest. Damian Priest, I believe, won one match since winning Money in the Bank. So who knows? We got the final video package of the night. Bianca Belair saying stuff that Bianca Belair would say, her usual stupid catchphrases, whatever. Jey Uso defeated Solo Sikoa. This match was fine for what it was. It was just a setup. The main event for tomorrow night. Though I should point out, Roman Reigns was not on the show. So at one point they go to break, they come back. Solo Sikoa has Jey Uso in a hold. Jey escapes and low bridges Solo outside the ring, or to the outside of the ring rather. Then Jey looks to fly. Solo catches him with the right hand, then slides back into the ring, delivers a Samoan drop, executes a second one, but Jey lands several right hands on Solo's midsection, follows that up with a kick, but Solo lands a clothesline. Jey ascends to the top rope, delivers the Uso splash, or tries to at least, goes for the pin. Solo kicks out, executes spinning Solo. Then Solo sets up for the Samoan spike. Jey ducks, delivers a super kick, then follows up with a spear of Roman Reigns' own spear. Lands the Uso splash for the win, and Jey Uso gets the win going into SummerSlam. After the match, Solo clocks Jey but from behind, but Jey fights back and continuously hits Solo with a chair, and that's how SmackDown went off the air. So yeah, like, SmackDown this week was not the greatest show on earth. It didn't need to be. It just needed to help make sure you were paying attention to SummerSlam is tomorrow night. So here's the final card. There was no matches added. No, they weren't gonna add Rhea on last, all that stuff, which still puzzles me, and I'm gonna talk about that on the Sunday podcast here. But we got Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes in just a regular singles match. I said on Monday that I think Cody Rhodes should win. I'm sticking with that prediction here. I'm still sticking with Seth Rollins to defeat Finn Balor, and then Damian Priest is going to fail attempt to cash in, but fail it. I think Charlotte is still going to win the WWE Women's Championship, and then immediately after that, IYO SKY is going to cash in and then win the championship to help pad Charlotte's record to get to 16 championships. And the only way you can do that is have her win the title, then immediately lose it back. Immediately win the title and then lose it to whoever it is next. It's usually how that goes. Match is supposedly opening the show. Ricochet, I have him defeating Logan Paul. Like I said, Gunther will continue his long reign as Intercontinental Champion. He defeats Drew McIntyre in a match that should be awesome. Shayna Baszler should absolutely defeat Ronda Rousey in the MMA rules match. We still don't know what that is here for that. I've got the Sim Gem Battle Royal for some fucking reason. We've got LA Knight, Sheamus, Tommaso Ciampa, Nakamura, Otis, Gable, Karrion Kross, AJ Styles, Grayson Waller, Matt Riddle, Santos Escobar, and The Miz. I'm going to go with Sheamus still to win here. And then the main event, Roman Reigns defeating Jey Uso decisively to retain the Universal Championship and the Tribal Chief thing here. But yeah, that's all I got to talk about here for SmackDown. I will see you guys hopefully back here for the SummerSlam review. That's the plan, at least. I hope so. I hope I'll be back in time to do the review. But until then, I will see you guys tomorrow for the SummerSlam review, and then Sunday we got the Pile Driver Pulse podcast where we will go over the next set of results for the G1 and the 5-Star Grand Prix and the bizarre stuff that's going on with the AEW Women's Division, and also the stupid reason as to why Becky and Trish was pulled from the show, from SummerSlam rather. Next week on SmackDown we're going to celebrate 25 years of Edge in Toronto. I think it's next week. Isn't it next week? It might have been next week. I don't fucking know. Anyway, until then, I will see you guys tomorrow for the review for SummerSlam. I've been Matt, this has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. We're out.